By anyone's measure, China's Belt and Road Initiative is a massive project. Trillions are being spent on infrastructure linking China to the world by road, rail, sea and pipelines.
And so that was the CICA. Now let's look at the SCO. It's been a strong move which makes India's position very clear. At the recently wrapped SCO summit, India has refused to endorse China's flagship connectivity program, Belt and Road Initiative, or the BRI.
China's Belt and Road Initiative, the perspective from Indian side. The current situation is that both India and China have found themselves with overlapping interests, both geopolitical and economic. And due to this, a certain amount of friction exists that periodically either heats up or cools down. Of the two countries, China seems to be the aggressive one, while India seeks to play by the book in keeping with its long tradition of non-interference and universal peace. Therefore, we need to look for areas in Indian foreign policy where we have been successful, where we need to work, and most importantly, where we are going to end up if we keep pursuing the current policies. It has been 2 years since the Belt and Road Initiative Forum was unveiled, and China's president's address to the second BRI Forum was a clear indication that Beijing is coming to terms with the pushback that ambitious project has received. In this address was included a statement committed to transparency and sustainability of BRI projects, and to greater debt sustainability in the financial model for BR projects under the new guideline principles. Since 2017, India, the US, and other countries have been critical of the lack of transparency with which many of the BRI projects were negotiated with governments. Sri Lanka, the Maldives, and Malaysia had second thoughts on some of the infrastructure projects over fears of a debt trap, and allegations of corruption in BRI projects became election issues. India, on the other hand, has consistently opposed the 1963 China-Pakistan Boundary Agreement that recognizes POK as under actual Pakistani control without prejudicing a final dispute resolution with India. India has also protested the Karakoram highway, on which traffic has been plying regularly, as well as subsequent infrastructure projects built by China in the disputed POK area, like the $60+ million China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which is also known as CPEC, aimed at linking China's Xinjiang province with the Arabian Sea. While the Chinese statements on transparency and inclusivity will be welcomed in India, they don't address India's main concern over the BRI, which is of sovereignty. India's objection to the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor CPEC is that it runs through the parts of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, and this has led to the Indian government's decision to stay away from the BRI summit. India's other concerns over the BRI inroads in South Asia will also grow. At the summit, China listed the China-Myanmar Economic Corridor and the Nepal-China Trans-Himalayan Multi-Dimensional Connectivity Network and the CPEC as focus areas. Despite these, India has abandoned its sharp rhetoric against the BRI this time compared to 2017, and China issued statements saying it would not allow the decision to affect the bilateral relationship. BRI project, to conclude, as it stands today, is a mammoth infrastructure project, and here are some interesting points about it. Firstly, the BRI is, in essence, responsive to slowing Chinese domestic economic growth. Earlier this decade, by a slump in Chinese exports to developed countries following the 2007-08 economic meltdown, infrastructure spending at home became less sustainable. China shifted to boosting the global competitiveness of domestic businesses. Secondly, it is hard to put a precise number on the number of BRI projects worldwide, because projects are negotiated informally between investor and recipient countries. But they are clearly in thousands, unprecedented in the history of the development cooperation, in terms of the volume of investment and potential benefits. A concern for the BRI in its current dependence on the US dollar to fund the bulk of its projects, and this is its third point. But unlike some years ago, China's stocks of the US dollar are in limited supply. That may leave China with the option of adopting a co-financing strategy. Such cooperation with multilateral banking institutions would be welcome balancing act as it would increase transparency and sustainability in the long run. Fourth one and the more focused is that Rome recently endorsed the BRI, the first among the group of 7 most industrialized nations to do so. This endorsement of the BRI is a potential game changer. Other major economies may follow Rome's lead in much the same way as the initial resistance to China's Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank eventually evaporated. With the rise of populist forces in many countries in recent years, the world's open trading system has come under a protectionist strain. Perhaps there are signs in the BRI of the beginnings of a different kind of globalization. One day, the BRI might remain Chinese in all but name. That may actually be the next phase of globalization in the making. We have to wait and watch for that. Thank you.